Hey everyone, it's Janet, also known as the Nerdy Autism Mom. I'm just getting ready to go to my appointment for today. It's 9 o'clock right now. I obviously need to go get my coffee. I apologize for how freakishly long my vlog was yesterday, and I want to thank the 8 people who have viewed it so far. You guys are awesome, especially if you made it through the whole boring thing. Thank you guys so much. Just waiting for the car to heat up a little. There's just a little bit of condensation on the windows, so obviously I don't want to drive with that stuff on there because that's dangerous. But anyway, just going to my appointment. Probably gonna end up having to pay bills because I'm behind on some of them. My phone bill is atrocious, so I'm kind of half thinking about unlocking my phone. It's very expensive though, but it costs less to unlock my phone than to pay my bill, so we will see about that. Today's nerd shirt of the day is, oh, you can't see the sun, it's Elmo. My nerd shirt of the day is Elmo, because Sesame Street has definitely passed from the realm of preschool educational programming into pop culture, and for a lot of us, nostalgia. So I do include Elmo as a nerd shirt of the day. And if you haven't seen some of those things that Sesame Street is putting out nowadays, you freaking need to look that up, because like they've got a really hilarious Grover Game of Thrones parody. It's freaking awesome. They have so many Cookie Monster movie trailers, oh my goodness, Star S'mores. The Biscotti Kid, I think, is probably my favorite, because even though they're referencing to the Karate Kid remake, they actually do this little bit where they take a hugely popular 80s song that was in the original Karate Kid, and yeah, they rewrite the lyrics for the Biscotti Kid, and it's freaking hilarious. So if you haven't seen those, where have you been? But anyway, it's yeah, Sesame Street is definitely crossing into the pop culture line, and I love it. I am so happy that my kids still absolutely adore Sesame Street. They are obviously, you know, older than preschool age, which is obviously what Sesame Street is generally geared towards. But I suppose a lot of their mentality with the autism causes them to have a little bit more of a preschool mindset, which is fine. I always said I don't want my babies to grow up, so anyway, and they're enjoying Sesame Street, and honestly, I am super enjoying watching it with them. It's so fun. Okay, so off of Sesame Street, because I mean, who wants to watch an hour-long video about Sesame Street? Anyway, I am super exhausted this morning. Part of the reason being is that atrociously long vlog. It took forever to edit and upload and all that fun stuff, so it was probably about 1 o'clock in the morning by the time it was finally said and done. And from there, I had a really hard time getting to sleep for whatever reason. I have no idea, because I was so tired, but I just could not sleep. So I think it was somewhere after 2 that I was finally able to get to sleep, and then naturally waking up often through the night. I had this really weird zombie dream, and I can't stand zombies. Like, zombies for me is like kryptonite. Ask me if I've watched The Walking Dead, and I can't do it because I despise zombies that much. It was so weird. It was like, and Peter Dinklage was in it for whatever reason. I don't know. I mean, I love the guy. I think Peter Dinklage is freaking awesome. But he was in my dream, and it consisted of this huge zombie outbreak, and I had to run through this in my dream a number of times, the same scenes over and over, where me and a few people are trying to escape these zombies. It actually started off with what seemed to be some kind of a graduation ceremony. And there was actually, you know what, honestly, I think the most disturbing part of that dream is the way in my dream that my father and I treated each other, because he and I are ridiculously close. Like, I think I've mentioned that before. I can't remember if I've brought that up in my videos before. But my dad and I have always had a very close relationship, literally since my birth, because he actually delivered me. It was by accident. Apparently, there are theories about that, but anyway, so, and this isn't the first time I've had dreams like that, and it's very disturbing to me when I have a dream about something like that, about a problem between me and my dad, where we speak to each other in an extremely disrespectful manner. So that, I find that even more, honestly, disturbing than the zombies, and the zombies are incredibly disturbing. So anyway, it basically involved me getting separated from my family, and I ended up around a bunch of other people. One sec, gonna order my coffee.
May I take your order, please?
Hi, can I get a large dark roast triple, please?
Triple?
Yep.
215, right there.
Thank you. Anyway, it's a large coffee kind of day.
May I take your order, please?
Anyway, yeah, I got separated from my family. I ended up with a few other people. I can't remember if they were supposed to be my friends or whatnot. Anyway, Peter Dinklage. Anyway, and we ended up going through this mall, I think it was, and of course people getting scratched or bitten or whatever, and trying to run and hide from all these zombies, and then having to relive the experience a number of times, to the point where I caught on that it was happening over and over again. So what I started to do was I started to get people rounded up and saying, okay, those who have been bitten or scratched, sit back down. Those who haven't, follow me, kind of thing, because, you know, those who have been infected, obviously there is nothing we could do. So, and they had no idea what was going on. So anyway, by the end of the dream, what it turned out to be was actually like this Peter Dinklage guy went crazy. 1 second, gotta pay.
Hi there, Dark Rose Triple Triple.
Yep.
Debit today?
Yes.
Thank you. Just go right ahead.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
You were like one of the most pleasant people who work here.
Why, thank you. You have an awesome Friday.
You too, thank you.
Thanks. See ya.
I really like her. She's always very, very pleasant. Anyway, yeah, by the end of the movie, why the F did I call it a movie? It was basically this Peter Dinklage guy was just this crazy person, and it was like, I guess the opposite of what the entire dream was about was what was happening. So like, there wasn't actually a zombie outbreak, but this guy who went crazy, who's going around shooting people, thinking that they're zombies. And it was so weird. Like, it even got to a point where it was almost like these zombies had this military organization, like, and there was a point where we were trying to get through this military organization of zombies, and it was very similar to a video game style trying to get through these things. So it was so weird. Like, I don't know what the hell I've been watching or doing to have a dream like that. It was just so weird. I don't know. Like, I generally steer very clear from zombie things. The only zombie things really that I believe that I have honestly watched was I watched the first Resident Evil movie with Mila Jovovich, which I did kind of enjoy. Like, I mean, I've never played the Resident Evil games, but I've watched them being played years ago, like, I think my early 20s. And I've, ooh, hit the curb. There was a car behind me, so here I am trying to move over as far as I can. Anyway. So yeah, I watched that, and I watched, the, CGI Resident Evil movie. What was it called? Degeneration? Anyway, it had Leon Kennedy in it, and I am all for that. If that guy was real, I tell you, I would find a way to kidnap him and make him mine. But he's just a fictional character, so anyway. I've watched Shaun of the Dead because it's funny and British. Excuse me for a second. I woke up with like I woke up like this. Oh, that's nasty. Anyway. So yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much the limit of my zombie intake. I don't watch zombie things. I don't read zombie books. Like, I can't. They just freak me out way too badly. So I don't know. I enjoy my vampire dreams because I've always liked vampire things. Like, my favorite show as a child was The Little Vampire, which was based off of a book, My Friend the Vampire, which I also had. The show was about Anton, the human, who makes friends with Rudiger, the vampire, and his sister Anna. I've honestly tried Googling the classic Little Vampire because they did do a movie remake, which, I mean, there was a couple of scenes in that. I was an adult by then, but there was a couple scenes in that was really cute and really funny. So anyway, reaches the soul. Anyway, that was my favorite show as a child. My favorite show as a teenager was Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And that's going to forever be one of my favorite shows of all time. There's just so much awesome to it. So yeah, vampire things, I like those. There are certain vampire things that I don't like too much because I find that they're a little too, like John Carpenter's vampires. I honestly, that freaked me out quite a bit because, I don't know, I found like they're, I don't know what it was, but that kind of freaked me out, so I didn't care for that. But anyway, yeah, vampire things I like. I'm actually writing a vampire story. I had a dream recently that was like a vampire werewolf human love triangle type of dream, and I woke up and I'm thinking about it and I'm like, wow, that would make a really interesting story. Like, I should write a young adult book about this. And then I got to thinking about it and I'm like, that love triangle sounds an awful lot like Twilight. So I don't know. I did kind of discuss that idea yesterday with my appointment with Kelly, and she actually did sound like she really liked the idea. So anyway, who knows? We'll see. I've already got like a bazillion other story ideas on the go that I'm trying to write, so I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I am just a couple of minutes away from being due for my appointment. I'm just sitting out here talking to you guys. So anyway, I will sign off for now. I will bring you with me on my daily excursions. Not a clue what I'm going to do, but I'm sure at some point I will probably bring the kids out again. Again, not really to do much of anything, but we will see. So, catch you in a bit. Hey! Alright, so I have finished my appointment. Now I'm just going to go pay a couple of bills. So that, again, was a very, very encouraging appointment. Basically, it was to set some education goals. So obviously the first step is to get my GED. So I just called the number for the lady who runs the GED program closest to me. Had to leave a message, so hopefully she will call me back soon. Obviously she's gonna call me back. And then from there, you know, it's just basically setting up a bunch of different goals. So my appointment with Tanya, her name is Tanya James, she's with One Change. Again, another fabulous lady, very helpful, very encouraging. She was pretty impressed that I do have my basic ideas of what goals it is that I actually want to set. So to get my GED, to get my post-secondary in early childhood education, those are the two main focuses right now. Basically, the ultimate goal would be to do this children's show kind of idea. But at the same time, basically, if that's something that doesn't end up happening for me, it's not the be-all, end-all. Basically, if I can get my GED, get my early childhood education, that's good enough for me if it doesn't go any further than that, because I really feel like even just simply having that early childhood education would be extremely beneficial to me, to my boys, and to other families that I could help with that education. So she's very happy. She's helping me set the goals for it. So yeah, things are starting to get rolling. I'm very excited about that. So from there, I'm just gonna go get some bills paid that I'm behind on, figure out a couple of things, and then basically go from there. Just, you know, figure out where the day's gonna take me. Hopefully today's video won't be as ungodly long as yesterday's that I was late getting up. But yeah, I'm really excited about this. I'm very excited about, oops, wow, there's a lot of congestion here. Oh, just waiting for traffic. Sorry. Gotta pay attention, right? Yay, okay. But yeah, I'm really excited about this, just about the prospects, about the future. I really like to think in the long term. I find that I tend to think about the future quite a bit. Like I've always had this idea of wanting to know what it is I wanted to. Ever since I was a child, I've always wanted to be an actor. Honestly, that hasn't changed. I've always wanted to be an entertainer. I like the idea of entertaining. I like making people happy. And to kind of mix that in with the love that I have for children, I think is honestly the best way to go. Like, I have lots of different ideas of what I like to do. Like, I am perfectly comfortable, like for example, say if I were to do acting, I am perfectly comfortable with acting in things that are not necessarily geared towards children. Like, I mean, really, the first thing that I ever filmed was a Canadian comedy film. Yeah, it was just background work, but still. And the other movie that I filmed for was a drama, which is the word that I was looking for the other day, by the way. When I was like, I don't want to say suspense, but anyway, it was a TV drama. I'm cool with that. But, you know, I really think that I would probably have the most fun working in children's programming, because I adore kids so much, and I honestly find that I have an easier time talking to children than I do talking to adults, which is so funny because I always think, my goodness, like, I have no idea how to speak to children, let alone like just people in general. But I find that, at least recently, I have a fairly easy time talking to children and relating to children. So if I can set a goal to be able to work with children and even to break into the entertainment industry working with children, I really think that that would probably be the most satisfying for me, and it would be beneficial to the children as well. So I really, really hope that, I think I need to go this way. I'm trying to get to the St. John Energy so I can pay my power bill. It was so much easier to get there when it was uptown. But now that it's on the west side, I don't know the west side at all. So I can never remember exactly how to get there, but I think I'm on the right road back. It's actually easier for me to find the way to get there than it is the way getting back home. I think I'm on the right path though. Yeah, there it is. Yay, I found it! So anyway, I'm really, really excited, and I really hope that this all works out for me. And you know, especially being a mother, and especially being a mother of special needs children who can't look after themselves, looking at the future is a very important aspect of life, really. It's also very scary, because when I look to the future, I unfortunately need to look to the future of what's going to happen to me, and well, really, not me, but what's going to happen to my children when I'm gone. That terrifies me because they can't take care of themselves. So, and I mean, honestly, I don't have very many options when it comes to their care for when I am gone. I'm going the wrong way. So that is the scary aspect of looking at the future, but it is something that I obviously need to look at. So even if I kind of put that off a little bit, I still need to look towards the future for my own goals, for what it is that I want to do, because I'm not satisfied working at a grocery store when I have talents and skills that are being completely wasted with me working at a grocery store. Like I said, I have the background in acting, I have the background in the arts, and I just simply adore children. So I'm just really excited to be working on these kinds of goals. So, and I'm very, very grateful that I have these people and these programs to work with me in order to set these goals and to achieve these goals. So yeah, for people who need to find resources for certain things, for people who want to set goals for themselves for the future, in St. John, look up One Change. She's been really fabulous. I've got another appointment with her in a couple of weeks, but we'll probably be in touch before then anyway. And it's possible I could be going to school during that time too. So I'm just really excited So yeah, I'm gonna go in and pay my power bill before they cut me off, and I will catch you in a bit. So the woman who does the GED program in my area, she called me back, and a teacher is going to call me back. So that's awesome. Apparently, this particular teacher, he has afternoons pretty wide open. The program sounds awesome. She said that it's basically more like a one-on-one tutoring kind of thing, which is really awesome. That works a lot better for me than a classroom setting, I think. So I'm excited about that. So basically, he's going to get a hold of me, and we'll do an assessment to see what my levels are at. It's been like 20 years since I've set foot in an actual school, so I don't know, it's probably not really all that high, but you know what, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna get through it, and I'm going to look forward to the future. So I'm really excited. So it's she said that the program is very flexible, it works with my schedule. I told her that afternoons definitely work best for me, considering I work all mornings, like I'm all 7 to noon, so the afternoons work best for me, and the afternoons work best for this teacher, so that's perfect. I'm excited about that. I'm really, like, this is really positive energy, guys. Like, this is awesome. I'm looking forward to the future. I'm looking forward to finishing my education, continuing with my education. You know, I've heard a lot of stories, like actually one of the fathers of a co-worker, he works at the liquor store, and he said that, I think he said he was 54 years old when he finally went and got his GED. He said that, I think he was at a 5th grade level when he quit school, and he was 54 when he went back to get his GED, so that's a positive story. He went back and he did it. Tanya today, during my meeting with her, mentioned that one of her clients is a stay-at-home mom. One of those stay-at-home moms that it was no income, like she wasn't doing anything from home. She was just a stay-at-home mother, and she recently decided to go and get post-secondary education. So she started to get university. So anyway, really positive. It's nice to hear those stories, to know that I'm not the only person who is older who is finally deciding to finish their education. So that makes me feel good about myself and my situation. So yeah, I'm super stoked. I'm super excited about this chapter in my life, and I will likely be taking you guys along with me. So yeah, I'm just waiting for this teacher to call me back and set up my assessment and my tutoring times. So that's awesome. I'm gonna do it, and the best part is it's free. So awesome. I'm so super stoked, you guys. It's awesome. All right, guys, so awesome sauce stuff. The teacher who is going to be tutoring me for my GED called me back, and I have an appointment on Tuesday afternoon to go get my assessment done. So that's awesome. I didn't realize it was going to be that fast. Now, it's not obviously doing the GED yet, but it's the assessment to see where my levels are at. So that's awesome. Like, I'm so excited that that this is happening. Like, I remember I used to have nightmares constantly about going back to school and ending up going back like in the middle of a semester and being completely clueless as to what's going on, and it was just horrible. Like, that's probably one of the most uncomfortable nightmares a person can have, really. Because it's so realistic. Because it doesn't have to do with like monsters or anything like that. It all has to do with realistic situations, and it's awful. So I used to have nightmares about that all the time. But I think doing this is definitely a step in the right direction for where I want to go and what I want to achieve. So I am super excited about it. I like that both of the people that I spoke to on the phone, the one who heads it, who heads the adult learning program, and as well as the teacher who will be working with me, I really like that it seems to be a very, those are red lights, people. Drivers are great! It's very non-judgmental, which that's the feeling I get out of it. Both phone calls that I had were very pleasant. So that's good. It's very professional. I like that. And that's good, because I mean, I've discussed to you guys about my situation with my schooling, so it's nice to know that these people are not there to judge me about why I didn't finish school. I really appreciate that they're there to help me finally finish school and then move on from there. I think that's fabulous. It is a free program, and like I mentioned, it's like a one-on-one tutoring thing, which I appreciate, because I find that for me personally, when I'm just learning something, or when I'm learning to do something for the first time, I don't like the idea of doing that around a bunch of people, probably due to my anxiety, because I know there are some people who couldn't care less. But for me, when I'm learning, or if I'm doing something new or something like that, I don't want to be around a whole bunch of people to do that. It's just a little less comfortable for me. I mean, it was fine when I was a child and I was enjoying school, which would have been elementary school, because kids are kids. They're not, you know, elementary school is definitely a different type of environment than a middle school and a high school. Obviously, I mean, there still have been instances of bullying in an elementary school, which is very sad, honestly. But anyway, I really appreciate the fact that these people are here to help. They're very kind about it, and I'm just really excited to get started. So for now, as you can see, the babies are here with me, and we're just going for another drive, just to get the poor little fellas out of the house. And I'm gonna attempt to take them into the grocery store with me, and hope they don't touch anything, because I mean, naturally I wanted to take them for a drive and then like just a few minutes before we left the house, I'm like, I need to go to the grocery store because there were a couple things I didn't pick up yesterday. So here's hoping that nothing bad comes of it. I hate the thought, but I mean, when you need something, you need something, and when you have to take them, you kind of have to take them. So it's like being stuck between a rock and a hard place, I guess. You know, it's just, and I mean, I especially think about other kids who are more more susceptible to illnesses. I don't like the thought of bringing my sick kids around them, because these other kids are going to be more susceptible to it, and that just makes it harder on everybody. Like, both of my boys are fully immunized, but from what I can gather, there is no immunization for hand, foot, mouth. They won't get chicken pox because there's an immunization for that. So, but the hand, foot, mouth, and I mean, the hand, foot, mouth hasn't been really, really bad. Like, I haven't noticed them being in a bunch of pain. I haven't noticed anything. Like, the fever wasn't even 24 hours long for both of them. So, it just really, really seems to me more like an inconvenient childhood illness. Less so than anything that could really be potentially dangerous. Except, like I said, highly contagious. And being around people or other children who have compromised immune systems, that could really take quite the toll on those people. Like, I mean, some child with a compromised immune system could, I feel, probably potentially die just because they got a fever from the onset of hand, foot, mouth. I'm sure that's very possible. So I really, 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 really don't like the idea of taking my kids into the grocery store today, but I kind of have to at this point right now today. So we will see how it goes. They are clean. Like, I make sure to wash their hands and everything. Like, when I Googled it, it did say, you know, practice good hygiene, make sure hands are washed, switch up toothbrushes, stuff like that. So I always send them to the toilet or change their pull-ups before we go anywhere anyway. So naturally they're going to wash their hands. So that's a good thing. So at least if they end up touching anything, they're not going to spread germs that way. They're not coughing or anything, which is good. And when Ryu does cough, he actually knows to cover his mouth, which is very, very smart. I'm very proud of him for that. Leander, on the other hand, doesn't, but he's not coughing at all, so I think they'll be fine. If I do see any small children in our path as we're in there, I guess I'm just gonna steer clear from them, and then just simply make sure the kids don't touch anything, and probably sanitize the cart after we're done using it. They usually keep a bottle of sanitizer right at right in the lobby, right at the car corral in the lobby. So I'll do that just to take the extra precautions, I guess. I hate the thought of it. I hate the idea of it, but I don't really know what else to do. You know, single mom, like I do have my help. I do have my friend who watches them, but I don't expect to leave my children in his hands all the time. You know, he has things that he would like to do as well. So, you know, I'm not gonna make my kids his high priority. So, you know, there's just certain times where, you know, it's just necessary for me to have my kids with me, which, I mean, I'm perfectly fine with that. Guys, you ready to go in? Yeah. You ready to go into the store? Gonna go into the store. Ooh. Paper's flying all over the place. Is that funny? Is that funny? That was cute. Aww. Get the sweetest little giggle. Alright, let's go into the superstore. These are divine. Alright guys, we drove around Rosse. We drove around, we actually took a little trip around the west side because I took a path and I went with it and we ended up on the west side. 2 days in a row, or 2 times in a day, that's what I'm trying to say. Holy crap, I can't talk today. Anyway, and I was actually able to get us out of the west side without having to use my GPS, so yay for me. So yeah, we did that. We drove through the flag trail just so the kids could name off their provinces again and just get a quick look at the flags. So I didn't want to get them out and do a WALK just in case. So anyway, and then we just get out of the grocery store. We're heading home now. It's supper time. Yeah, there was just a couple of things I didn't realize I needed to get in yesterday's ridiculously expensive grocery order. So I had to get cat food because the little kitties are growing and Linus is getting to be a fat cat. And Ginger is just a little piglet. She is getting a little heavier, but I think she's just a little more dainty. She's a little dainty princess is what she is, but Linus is a fat cat. He's pretty heavy, like you can hear him coming just from walking. So anyway, needed to get cat food and needed to get the garbage bags because you always need a place to put your garbage that's not on the floor, right? Unless you're kids. Anyway, so yeah, that's it. So we're gonna go home. Baby boy's probably gonna want a peanut butter sandwich for supper because that's been what he's been wanting lately. Usually he'll switch it up between 3 things. He either wants hot dogs, peanut butter sandwiches, or grilled cheese sandwiches. Those are his 3 go-tos. Sometimes he'll help me eat my macaroni and cheese if I'm having macaroni and cheese. Not always, not usually, but sometimes he will. He'll just be like, oh, okay, well, I'll eat that. And of course, you know, he'll eat other snacky type foods and stuff, so that's good. He's a pretty good eater. Whereas Ryu pretty much won't eat anything. But that is why we are going to see about the Pediasure program. When I was talking to Tanya today, she said that she herself is going to get a hold of the pediatric dietitian at our hospital. And that's actually, I remember her from the first round of Ryu going on the Pediasure program. So I doubt she'll remember me and Ryu because, I mean, Ryu was like 2 or 3 at the time, so I can't imagine that she would remember us. I mean, he's 11 now, so anyway, so I think I'm gonna sign off for the night. I really don't want to stay up super late and have this ridiculously long video like yesterday. I'm going back to work tomorrow, so I want to be able to sleep tonight so I can get up and work all day. So anyway, we're done for the day. Gonna go inside and relax. Good job! Yes, I need to let you know this. So Ryu just unbuckled himself. He's never done that before. And before then, he was actually, he closed his own car door and brought his seatbelt over to buckle. I had to kind of snap it in for him, but that's awesome. That is so independent. I am so proud of him. He's never done that before. So that is so awesome. I'm so proud of him. I'm proud of both of them, but I mean, that's awesome. He's practicing car safety, so. What? Anyway, better get them inside. They're probably hungry. Have a good night, guys. See you tomorrow. Yeah. You dance into the quack song? Yay!